Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope Ramadan is going well for all of you. Today I would like to summarize our epistemological discussion, inshaAllah ta'ala, because in the next episodes we're going to be looking at the ontology of Shah Wali Allah Dehlavi. So if we rewind back, we started the discussion with Shah Wali Allah's theory of knowledge with respect to early Muslim philosophers, theologians, Sufis and metaphysicians. We then moved on to look at Shah Wali Allah's view in regards to the origin, nature, definition, division, means and channels of knowledge. And we noted that knowledge, according to Shah Wali Allah Dehlavi, has a divine basis from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From its divine sources, all knowledge came first to the prophets, and then from them it spread out. We also stated that knowledge, or the term knowledge, is indefinable according to some ulama, although there's always a debate in this, because of its very simple and obvious nature. Yet formative or empirical knowledge, as we call it, is described, and we described it as the realization of a form of the known object in the mind or soul of the knower. So if I say to you pencil, even though there's no pencil in front of us right now, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, you imagine a pencil, right? Even though it exists ontologically outside, but in your mind there's some sort of wujud in your mind. This is why some of the logicians, mantiq, when we study mantiq, there's this debate that can you make premises from things that don't exist? So when you make arguments, you base those arguments on knowledge that you already have beforehand. But try the mind-bending exercise of trying to theorize something from nothing. Right? It's very difficult because we theorize based on what we already know. Let's move on in any case. So from these various divisions of knowledge made by Shah Wali Allah Dehlavi, we arrive at the conclusion that knowledge is divided into two types, in particular ilmul huduri and ilmul husuli. Huduri, knowledge that just appears inside you as such, and al-husuli, which is acquired knowledge, or what's also called the manqulat and the ma'qulat and the makshufat. The manqulat are things that are transmitted, and so we've gone from people of the past, or you've learned it from teachers, and ma'qulat are rational forms of knowledge, and makshufat is a form of knowledge where things are unveiled. So if you want to think of it in one way, one is where you go out of your way to acquire something, which is manqulat and ma'qulat broadly speaking, and one is that it's just unveiled for you. Allah just unveils knowledge for you. A few people did email me privately, and they wanted me to do more on ilmul huduri and ilmul husuli. So inshallah, qariban, we will one day, very close, inshallah, make a more detailed video about ilmul huduri and ilmul husuli, because it seems to be something that fascinates a lot of people. So I'll do that for you, inshallah ta'ala. And I mentioned that ilmul husuli in particular, or what's called manqulat knowledge, and ma'qulat are subject to sense perception and discursive reason. It requires acquisition. Ilmul huduri and what's called makshufat knowledge, they are acquired through inspiration, intuition and revelation. So there are different streams of acquisition of knowledge. Finally, we also dealt with the means and channels of knowledge in the context of Shah Wali Allah's works, and we noticed that sense, intellect and intuition are the only means of knowledge. A sensation, the function of the intellect and intuition, by their very nature, are the only ways or channels through which all kinds of knowledge can be obtained. We also pointed out that the knowledge received through senses is not always reliable, and this is something that our ulama have written many books upon, where they discuss whether sense perception, so things that you see here, the scientific experiments that we do, are they really reliable forms of knowledge? One reason for this is, of course, the changing nature of perceptible objects. Things are always changing, and so is it really reliable when something is moving, changing, so forth and so on. The ulama say that knowledge, however, received through intellect is trustworthy because it deals with first principles and causes of things, as well as with the universal forms and concepts. So they say this is a higher form of knowledge, and because it's a higher form of knowledge, it's more reliable than sense form of knowledge. But the highest form of knowledge, of course, is intuitive knowledge, which is concerned with divine reality. So you have a hierarchy of ulum, of knowledge. An intuitive one appears to be at the top, which is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that pure, unadulterated form of knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What I want to do, inshaAllah ta'ala, in the next episode is we're going to move on to something that I've really personally found fascinating, which is ontology. Ontology, my friends, is the study of being, what we call wujud or hasti. So this idea of how do we know things, right? The study of beings in of themselves. So am I a human being, or am I an animal? What am I? Am I a bunch of atoms just bouncing around, just happen to be collected at this moment in time? What am I? How do we know things exist? So this is wujud, we call it, or ontology in the philosophical language, and I'm going to be going through a series of videos on that for you. But it's a month of Ramadan. Please do remember me in your prayers, and if you like what we have produced here, please do like, please do share, please leave some comments behind. I'd love to engage with you. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.